Alright, so we are going to finish my DVD collection part 2 of Downstairs. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you want to see the collection that's upstairs, because we love movies in this house. My daughter and I, we just love movies, and I think that she definitely has gotten it from me, from my love of it. I'm a homebody, so it's something that I love just having on in the background. And it's really interesting because one time her best friend revealed that she had never seen The Grinch, and my daughter and I, like, our heads exploded. We were just like, what? Anyway, there is a part 1 in case you missed it. I will link it down below and you will see my full collection that's in here. And yeah, so I want to go ahead and continue and dive into, let me switch you guys around a little bit and kind of tilt you down. Let's see. There we go. Let me just tighten you guys. Okay, yeah, that's not bad. So we're going to take a look at this collection here. There's actually 2 rows down here. I want to go ahead and get started with my TV series collection. And Frasier, we're going to start this off with Frasier. If you don't follow me on my Instagram or you're new to my channel, Frasier is probably my favorite TV show. I really don't like to say what my favorite is sometimes because it's just so hard, you know, between this and I Love Lucy and Golden Girls. It's just really, it's a difficult thing, but I could not live without Frasier. But I also couldn't live without Lucy or Golden Girls. And you know what? Why even say that? Because as of right now, I don't have to live without them. So Frasier, the only thing I will say about the set, and these I got from Amazon, by the way, I'll try to link some of these movies down below so that you guys can easily find them. But the Frasier set, the one thing, and maybe I just haven't quite figured it out yet, but when I put in the DVD, it doesn't automatically play the next episode. I got this from Amazon, so I'll link it down below. I'm obsessed with this show, and it's having a reboot, so I can't wait to see. I know that Kelsey Grammer has been talking about it for years and years, and I've been following it for years and years, and every time my heart was broken when he would say, the writers brought me something, it wasn't good enough. I mean, over and over and over, until finally, this last winter, he said that they came to him with another concept, and he said, yes, this is it. The full cast has signed on with the exception of Martin, who has passed away, the dad. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that. I Love Lucy, I was actually gifted this for Christmas, and it couldn't have been a better time because I moved from my last house, obviously, to this house. And with that move came a different internet cable company, which meant I had to return my cable box at the last house. And that cable box, I had, y'all, I had DVR'd stuff from 2015. 2015, I held on to stuff for 5 years. Actually, maybe even longer. But my sister-in-law gave me this for Christmas, and now I have Lucy. Okay, then I have The Nanny. That's actually what's playing up top. Also got this from Amazon, and I am obsessed with The Nanny. I love her clothes. I love the style. I love the 90s, you know, feel to it, and she is hilarious. I love her voice. I just love Fran Drescher in general. So I got that one. Then I have Who's the Boss, but this is season 1. You can't actually, it's very difficult to find the full season of Who's the Boss, and there's only season 1 that, but yeah, so love Who's the Boss. It's one of my, I keep saying it, one of my favorites. Any movie I own is 9 out of 10 times my favorite. There's something about this whole little unit. I love the house. I love when they decorate for Christmas. I just love the wholesome life, you know, him cleaning the house. I don't know, it's really cute. I love it. And then I have something a little bit different, Sex and the City. I love Sex and the City. I'm not a fan of season 1 because they had I think they had different writers in season 1, because they would actually turn to the camera, like Sarah Jessica Parker would turn to the camera and talk. And then you could tell that they stopped doing that a couple episodes later in season 1, which I'm really glad they did, because I didn't like how they were doing that. But Sex and the City, also got that from Amazon. And my Golden Girls. Now it doesn't have a sleeve because I actually bought all of these individually. I bought them a little bit here, a little bit there off of Amazon. And I'm obsessed with these gals. They're savages. Sophia will come for you, okay? And I love it. I love the set. I love the humor. I love the Florida aspect of it. It's just perfection. There's not one thing wrong with Golden Girls. I have a random VHS, but I still own all of my childhood VHSs, all of them. Here's Wizard of Oz. This is my favorite childhood movie, by the way, is Wizard of Oz. I can say every single line. Then I have this, I Love Lucy. I think I found this at Dollar Tree. So I got that. Oh, those are movies I gotta show you guys later. Let's head into my Blu-rays. Oops. We've got Journey to the Center of the Earth. It's still in its packaging. I found this at Dollar Tree. Isn't that crazy? So I'm actually gonna set that aside so I can watch it. I love Brendan Fraser. Once upon a time, I had a huge crush on him when he did The Mummy or whatever that. Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with the man. The Hangover. This movie was really effing hilarious. And I remember seeing this in the movie theater, and I was really impressed. For some reason, it really made an impression on me that they made the whole movie about finding the guy. And I'm like, well, what about what happened before The Hangover? And the movie wasn't about that. It was about what happens after The Hangover. And then, but at the end of the movie, they show you clips of what happened before The Hangover. And I just, for whatever reason, I thought that was really impressive, like from a filming perspective. And I love that. Bring It On. We love cheerleading in this house. I'm a cheer mom. But some of these are kind of, some of them are kind of cringy. Some of them are cringy. I think I found this at Dollar Tree. Salt. I'm obsessed with Salt. This actually kind of makes me angry. It says Angelina Jolie, and it makes me angry because there's not a part 2. And the way that they had filmed this was like they were leading up to a part 2. And I don't think they'll ever make a part 2, at least not with Angelina Jolie. And I just don't understand that, because Salt was so good. Again, it's different from my other vibes. It has like that marksman gun kind of thing, the politics in it that I talked about in the first part of this video of movies that I like. And I love Salt. Salt is actually on Amazon Prime or Netflix. It's on one of those. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You have to have Ferris Bueller's Day Off if you're gonna have an 80s collection. And I feel like I'm the 80s queen, but I don't know. You guys can vote and let me know. The part where he's in the parade and he sings and the crowd is so into it, and I just thought, man, from a you know, just from behind the scenes of being the director or the producer and saying cut, or, you know, take 2, and all of these people in Chicago are like dancing and really like they're being actors. It gives me goosebumps, because they were really making me want to dance and be in that damn parade. Like, I love it. But overall, I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of Ferris Bueller. But it's a cult classic that, you know, even not being the biggest fan, it's not my favorite 80s movie, but the parade part was definitely my favorite. Major League. This movie's hilarious. I love it. I prefer the first one, but I think they have multiple Major Leagues. And I love a good athletic sports movie too. I really do. And Major League is really, really funny. I feel like it might not be up every alley. It's definitely not a chick flick, but it's a good one. The Neverending Story. Didn't I find this at Dollar Tree? The Neverending Story Part 2, which I've watched, but it's been so long, I don't remember it. So I'm going to set this aside with Journey to the Center of the Earth as well. I'm going to watch this. But The Neverending Story, the Part 1, it's just so beautiful and has that whimsical feel that you get out of Labyrinth with David Bowie. So if you love Labyrinth and you want something that has that element, you need to reach for The Neverending Story Part 1 and maybe even Part 2. Let's see, Back to the Future. It's also a movie poster in my media room. I love Back to the Future. Steven Spielberg, everything he touches is gold in my opinion, just like John Hughes, both of them. You know, Michael J. Fox is fantastic as an actor in so many other movies. Doc Holliday, he's done so many, and I actually need to look him up and see what other movies he's done that I don't own, because I mentioned that in the Part 1, if you haven't watched it. That's how I sometimes find my movies, is if I fall in love with one specific actor, I'll go on IMDb and see what other filmographies that they've done to date, and that's how I'll be like, oh, I didn't. And I'll scroll down, like I'll scroll all the way to the 80s, 70s, 90s, and see what other movies they did, and that's how I find them. But Back to the Future, this is the original. The Fifth Element. I also like things that have that galactic futuristic fantasy feel, very Star Trek-y. The Fifth Element is very unique and bizarre, and I'm actually going to set this one aside too. It's got Bruce Willis. I can take or leave Bruce Willis. Like, I don't need to own everything he does, to be honest. But it's really not for him. I really like the girl. I think she's really freaking cool. So I'm going to put this one aside because I haven't watched this one in years too. Here's Home Alone. It was in Part 1, but I own a regular version of Home Alone and a Blu-ray version of Home Alone, because we have multiple DVD systems, ones that play Blu-ray and ones that don't. So own them in both formats. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I think this is another cult classic. I don't know if it would be considered that. Sean Penn. It's kind of, it's not my favorite. It's very raunchy 80s, and but it's just like one of those that I have to own in my collection. Couples Retreat. I love Vince Vaughn. I love the man. I love his humor. But I do feel like in every movie I've seen him in, he has the same type of character, but I'm not mad at it because I love that character so much. And him in Couples Retreat, like how he's like a fast, smooth talker, and I'm obsessed. This movie's hilarious. It's about couples that are each having like their own struggle in their relationships, and they go on this couples retreat to like fix things. It is so damn funny. When he's out in the water and sharks are circling him, he's like, yeah, well, the circle of life is circling my life. And it's just, it's such a good one. Here's Underworld. It was also in Part 1, but Underworld is a series of 3 or 4. Yeah, I have them right here, actually. I have like the whole, and I think I even have a dupe. I do have, yeah, because I have like the full collection, which is Underworld, Underworld Awakening, Underworld Revolution, and Underworld Rise of the Lycans. I love her. What's her name again? She is fantastic. Her body, like, good God, you got into that little leather cat suit. Are you freaking kidding me? Her as a vampire, and then the guy as the wolf. And oh my gosh, it's so good. And I feel like they left us on the edge with the last one because they have a daughter together, or the lab had both of them, like, and the lab had her and the wolf guy, and then like basically made their baby in the lab kind of thing. Oh Lord, it is so good, but they never gave us another one. Here is James Bond, Quantum of Solace. I'm a huge James Bond girl, or I used to be. I can't really say that now, but when I was younger, huge James Bond. And I even played the PlayStation game in the 90s, obsessed. And I need to get back into it. He wasn't my favorite James Bond. What's his name? Pierce, something is at the tip of my tongue. The Bourne trilogy. You've got the Bourne Ultimatum, the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy. Again, it's that political gun type video that I really enjoy, but I don't reach for this movie very often. But, you know, I find it kind of bizarre that, what's his face? Matt Damon would be in movies like this. I don't know. I kind of wish someone else was Jason Bourne. Sorry for those of you who love Matt Damon. I just think someone else could have played Jason Bourne better. Okay, this is actually a really fun video. I love this. My Cousin Vinnie. I hope you guys are having a good time too, by the way. If you've not watched My Cousin Vinnie, I just love the feeling of being transported back in time. The 80s, the 90s. I think it's because I grew up in both of those decades, and I have really good memories from that. And so when I watch movies like this, it just reminds me of a happier, simpler time in life. And that's why I'm so drawn to these decades. My Cousin Vinnie is so good. I love the whole thing about the case. It was really interesting how they kind of cracked the case in this. So good. If you've never seen My Cousin Vinnie, you should put this on your list, which, by the way, I said that in part 1. Hope you guys are watching with a little notebook so that you can kind of take notes. Here's another copy of Goonies. I mentioned that in the first one. I said I have multiple copies of Goonies. Here's my Blu-ray copy. My favorite character, you know, I've never actually thought about it from that standpoint, because I feel like you can't have Goonies without each of them. You lose one and it's not the same. That's how equal in greatness that I think they all are. So for me to literally say which is my favorite character, I couldn't do it. You have to have the Fratellis. You have to have Chunk and Data and Andy and Steph and Brand and Mikey and Mouth. Like, you have to have them. But I have to say, Mouth and Chunk are freaking hilarious. Here's Hot Pursuit. It's still in its original casing. I think I got this from Dollar Tree. Isn't that crazy? If you don't watch my Dollar Tree hauls, I find some good ass movies for $1, excuse my language. Hot Pursuit has like the gun thing. It also has a comedy, lighthearted twist. So if you're not into like dark things, but you like action adventure, you might like the Hot Pursuit. This is Kevin Hart. I'm a grown little man. I just think Kevin Hart's funny, and I found this at Dollar Tree. This one is Hall Pass, Jason Sudeikis, and you've got Owen Wilson. Jason Sudeikis came from SNL, and he is hilarious. So any movie that he's in, I sign up for it. But I haven't seen Hall Pass in a while. But I got it from Dollar Tree, so I picked it up. Here is more of my Breaking Dawn, but like I mentioned in the first one, I have all of them. I have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn, which is the last one. So New Moon is not my favorite, but I feel like a lot of people who are huge fans of Twilight probably feel the same way. But you needed New Moon as a filler to fill in information and to create the stronger bond between Bella and Jacob and Bella and Edward. So you have to kind of appreciate New Moon, but I would have to say my favorite was probably the first one, and I really loved Eclipse, and I really loved the last ones. I mean, I loved them all. What am I saying? Here is a combo, which I love these. We've got Funny Farm, which was in part 1, but this is Funny Farm on Blu-ray. and then Spies Like Us. If you've not seen Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, they are a mess. They actually shouldn't have been recruited for this mission, but they were accidentally, or were they? I think they were used as decoys, but joke's on them because they somehow do what they have to do. It's so good. And also Spies Like Us is something that I can actually watch year round, even though you can see like a snowy winter scene. But Funny Farm, I typically watch in the fall or winter, and I do watch movies based off of season and also weather, which I mentioned in the first part. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I'm pretty strict about it. And it's not even a rule for myself. It's just I have to watch movies that align with my mood, and my mood is aligned with the season and the weather, so it all just kind of like comes together. Nerve is one of those like for the youngsters kind of movies, but I remember watching this. Did I watch this in the theater with my daughter, or I think when it first came out, and I really liked it. I was just like, yes. And Dave Franco, he is a gorgeous piece of meat. Yes, you are. I really like Emma Roberts too, and I thought that this had a really cool concept, a very modern technology concept, and I really liked it. Crazy Stupid Love. It's one of those movies I'll watch maybe once every couple years, maybe every 3 years. I don't know why I own it, but it's pretty good. Here's another version of Christmas Vacation in Blu-ray. I like Goonies. I own it in multiple formats. I love Christmas Vacation. We got Beetlejuice. You'll see the same thing down here. I have it in, this is my Blu-ray, and then I have it in the original. Beetlejuice. Isn't part 2 supposed to come out? It's gonna be interesting to see how they handle movies with the quarantine situation. It makes me really sad. And Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, and he was Batman, and he was Mr. Mom. Like, that's a wide range of acting, may I add. He was also in Multiplicity, which is somewhere in here. But Beetlejuice, here's Hunger Games in Blu-ray. Here's The Shooter in Blu-ray, which I mentioned The Shooter, have another version in the part 1. I love me some Mark Wahlberg, and here's Ghostbusters in part 1. I love Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray. Those two are some of my favorite 80s actors, so anything that they do, I'm here for. And then the Fast and Furious. Now the thing about Fast and Furious is I need to review my collection, but it's also my daughter's favorite, so it's part of the upstairs collection, but for some reason I have the Fast 8. Okay, we won't stay there. Let's go down to the bottom level. Now, this is the level where we're gonna see a lot of older movies, a lot of classics. So let's go ahead and dive in. We've got these type of movies where you get like the trio options. I find these on Amazon. I'll try to link everything that I can. Handcuffs, Snow, and Snow 2. But honestly, I got this for Holiday and Handcuffs. It's kind of hard to find some of these ABC Family. ABC Family's no longer a thing. They're now called Freeform. So this one has Santa Baby 2, Christmas in Boston, and Snow Globe. I like this for Snow Globe and Holiday and Handcuffs. Here's Santa Claus 2, Deck the Halls. It's a great one. We've got Beauty Shop with Queen Latifah. Love her. We've got City Slickers. Love this movie. It's really good. Billy Crystal, love Billy Crystal. If you've never seen City Slickers, they've done a part 2 and maybe even a part 3, and I think I need to own part 2. Maybe I do own part 2. I don't know. We're gonna find out if I own part 2. But I love Billy Crystal. Then we've got Fletch. It's a Chevy Chase thing. So Fletch, and then I have Fletch Lives, which is somewhere in here. This is where he's just kind of like this FBI agent. He takes on a lot of different, like those are all him. He goes under disguise a lot. And I haven't watched this one in a while though. Here's I Love Lucy. It is a Christmas edition in color which is kind of a weird thing for me to watch. I think I really do prefer Lucy in black and white, which is crazy because I always want to know what it's like in color, but when I watch it in color, it's such a shock to me that I'm just like, I want to watch it in black and white. Here is 18 Again, which is the original movie to the movie 17 Again. So the movie with, what's the guy from High School Reunion, or what's his name? God, everyone loves him. Everyone thinks he's good looking, and I'm just like, we're all in this together. High School Musical, that guy. He does the 17 Again, but it's a remake of 18 Again. So they switch lives kind of thing. So this is the 80s version. Love it. Here's European Vacation with Chevy Chase. I also own Summer Vacation, European Christmas, and what, Summer, Europe, Christmas. Why am I feel like I'm missing another one? But anyways, there you go. And every time Russell and Audrey are different characters, which they did that on purpose, and I think that's hilarious. I don't know if people picked up on that, but they purposely made the kids different actors and they made them different ages. But my favorite Audrey and Russ are the Summer Vacations ones where they go to Wally World. I thought they were the most Griswoldy of them all, if that makes sense. Here is Fletch Lives. So this is the second to Fletch. Career Opportunities. I actually haven't even watched this all the way through, but I got this because of her, because she's in Labyrinth. So that's her. What's her name? Jennifer Connelly. So she is the girl in Labyrinth, and I went on the IMDb, looked up Jennifer Connelly, and I was like, oh, Career Opportunities. I've never seen this. Here's Pollyanna. Love Pollyanna because it has her. What's her name? What is your name? Haley Mills. Oh my gosh, it was killing me in the first one when I talked about Parent Trap. But if you've never seen Pollyanna, it is such a cute movie. I love all of the old-fashioned clothing, the little town, just everything, beginning to end, how cute Pollyanna is. Love it. Here is The Beautiful Blonde from Bashful Bend. This is a classic with Betty Grable. Love it. She's basically on the run. It is in black and white. She's on the run. She ends up in this town, and they think that she's the teacher. But because she arrives when this teacher that this town really needed to arrive. One teacher for one school of kids, you know, in multiple age range. That's how it was done back then. And so she comes into this town because she's hiding, and she takes on this teacher thing, and she actually does a good job. It's a cute one. It's a cute one. Here's a Marilyn Monroe, The Prince and the Showgirl. It is so good. I believe this one is in color. I haven't watched this one in a while, but it's Marilyn Monroe. Like, what am I supposed to tell you? All right, I'm just gonna kind of grab like chunks like this. This one's When Calls the Heart, a bunch of series of When Calls the Heart. I got these from Dollar Tree here, and I've never really watched them, by the way. I know that a lot of you have recommended When Calls the Heart, but I've never gotten into it, so maybe I'll get into it. This is Easter Bunny Adventures. I have no idea. I've never watched it. It's still in the seal. I got it from Dollar Tree for my niece. Did you think you were going to see this collection without Hocus Pocus? I need a backup because I've had these for so long. Some of these I've had since my early 20s, and, you know, they're DVDs. They can get scratched. Movies can skip. As a matter of fact, Santa Claus, the original, I need to replace it because it skips a whole chunk. And I know that you can take rubbing alcohol and fix some stuff, but anyways, I just need a backup of these women. They are hilarious. Kathy Najimy, she's an underrated role in this movie because she's a cuckoo. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. This movie actually has a lot of really sad and interesting facts about it. So for me, when I first found this movie, is because I wanted all of Marilyn Monroe's movies. But only recently did I find out that she was not the star of the show, but it was Jane Russell, and that she was Marilyn Monroe was grossly underpaid, like to the point where it was a slap in the damn face. And she knew it too. And Marilyn Monroe was so classy, and she was just so kind. And she was paid something like $15,000, and Jane Russell was paid 3 figures. And at the time, that's a lot of money, okay? And there was even a point where they were going to overlay her vocals in the musical parts because they thought that Marilyn Monroe's vocals were just too sexy and sultry, and they didn't like where it was headed, and they actually changed a bit of it in the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friends number. That's this movie where she does it in the pink iconic dress. That's this movie. But then they ended up changing their mind, and she sings the rest of it herself. And isn't it just, I love the fact that, for me at least, I feel like she got the justice she deserves, because she's the star to me. And not any disrespect to Jane Russell, because I love Jane Russell, but I'm just like, Marilyn Monroe was the star to me in this movie. But yeah, you can see her iconic gown, and it's just, oh, can't believe. And then she even said something where they were like, I forget what her quote was, but it was so good. It was like, well, am I the only one playing the blonde, you know? And they were like, yeah. And she was like, well, then that's all I want. Like, she was a really smart businesswoman. She really played the dumb blonde thing, and she was just incredibly smart about it. She wasn't really dumb at all, and I don't think blondes are dumb at all. But anyway, you should look up some of the facts about this movie. Here is the original Santa Claus. I just talked about that for a long time, huh? Here's Transporter. I love Jason Statham. I do, and he's also in some of the new Fast and Furious, like Hobbs and Shaw, because he plays Shaw. But I love the Transporter with the car and the guns. Like, I love that. There's Transporter 1, 2, and 3. I think there's like 4, maybe 5, and I need to watch those, but they don't have Jason Statham in it. Like it. Here's Transporter 2. I don't know where the original is. I may not even own the first one. But I think I prefer, I don't know which one I like most. I think I like the first and the second one the most. This girl kind of annoyed me a little bit. Here is Weekend at Bernie's again. Here is National Lampoon's Summer Vacation. So these have the Griswold kids that I prefer. Here is Gremlins, which is funny because I like watching Gremlins during Halloween, but the movie is set during Christmas time. But I like watching Gremlins and Halloween. I've always thought of it as a Halloween movie. It's 80s, if you've not seen Gremlins. It's so, I wouldn't even classify it as horror because some of the horrors back then were, they're not really that scary. Some of them are, but like Gremlins is really not that scary, and I don't like horror movies, so this one is one I can definitely stomach. The Prince and Me with Julia Stiles, but then Julia Stiles ends up not doing the rest of them, and some other girl takes her place. A Madea Christmas. I love Madea. She's a real one, and I love Tyler Perry. I think he's a genius. Here's the Prince and Me 2. So it's this girl that ends up being in it. I think the guy stays the same, right? Or does he end up changing eventually? I don't remember. The Secretariat, based off of a true story. I almost just coughed, sorry. Wow, I've been talking so much, my lips are dry, my mouth is dry. The Secretariat is based off of a true story. And this horse is fantastic. I cry. Oh, I cry. Here is a double feature, Jack Frost and Christmas Vacation 2, which I've actually never seen this one, but it doesn't have Chevy Chase. At least I don't think he's in it at all. Jack Frost, I hated it. I watched it, hated it. Oh, I do not like that the dad dies. No, sorry. I'm sorry if I ruined it for somebody, but like, I did not enjoy it at all. The Intern. It's a kind of a random movie if you've been kind of following my style. This one doesn't, but I love it. I can't explain it. He basically is retired and he goes back to work for her, Anne Hathaway, and I love how much she needs him. Ugh. Ugh. Summer Rental. Write this down in your little book if you've never seen this. John Candy. And I hope that you watching it brings you as much happiness as it brings to me, because it's just such a feel-good movie. He's basically forced to take a break from work, and they go to Florida, and they have a time. Here is How to Marry a Millionaire. This one is hilarious, and you've got Betty Grable in here, and you've got Lauren Bacall and Marilyn Monroe. And basically, Lauren Bacall orchestrates this whole thing where her and her friends, Marilyn and Betty, are going to marry millionaires. And she's just this ringleader of that. And it is in color, by the way, which is fantastic. And I would say that Lauren Bacall is the star of the show because she's in it more than the other girls. But Marilyn is just fantastic. All of the wardrobe and everything. It's such a good storyline because Marilyn and Betty fall for men that aren't millionaires, and this guy keeps falling. This guy wants to be with Lauren Bacall, and she's like, no, like you're poor, but she ends up falling for him, and the end is so good. So if you have not watched How to Marry a Millionaire, I don't know what you doing. French Kiss, Meg Ryan. It's a great 90s movie. It's fantastic. Love everything about it. The 9 Lives of Christmas, one of my favorite Hallmark Christmas movies. Got it on DVD. Grease 2. I'm not a huge Grease 2 kind of girl, but are y'all gonna stab me if I tell you that I love Grease 2 almost more than Grease 1? But there you go. Modern Girls. If you need an 80s movie and you're here because you need some movie recommendations, Modern Girls is everything. So much so that even my little mini me loves this movie. And her and I do not like the same movies at all. She will never watch a movie I like, but one night she watched this and she loved it. My kid loves Modern Girls. You've Got Mail. Love watching this during the fall. It's a broken record for me. I watch it over and over. I love the music. I love the banter. It's just so good. It's You've Got Mail, you know? What am I supposed to say? Oh my gosh, this video is so long already. I'm at 43 minutes. This is a random movie from Dollar Tree. This is also a random movie from Dollar Tree. It's like a different version of Titanic. It's not the original. Christmas Bounty. It's another one of those ABC Family or something. I got this at Dollar Tree, but you can see the Walmart tag on it. Here is colorized episodes of I Love Lucy. So you get Pioneer Woman, Lucy does a TV commercial, job switching, The $1 Million Idea, Bonus Bucks, LA at Last, Lucy Gets in the Pictures, The Fashion Show, The Dancing Star, Harpo Marx, Lucy Visits Grauman's, Lucy and John Wayne, Lucy Goes to Scotland, Lucy's Italian Movie with the Grapes, Christmas Show, Lucy and Superman. So all of those you can see in color. And I found this on Amazon, which I know I talked about. I prefer her in black and white, but I do like seeing them in color once and just knowing like what their color their outfits were. True Beverly Hills. I've been on this one on repeat the last couple of weeks, over and over and over. When she goes into the shop and she goes, does it come in any other color other than khaki? I can't. Let's Make It Legal. It's a Marilyn Monroe movie. It's in black and white. Yeah, her husband has gambling habits and she divorces him. although her daughter, so she's like technically a grandmother in the movie because her daughter has a kid, but her daughter tries to get her parents back together. And problems arise when Victor, who plays the mom's high school sweetheart, who's a turned millionaire, suddenly arrives on the scene. So she's got her ex-husband who wants her back, and then her high school sweetheart who comes back. And try as she might, a breathtaking beauty, and try as she might, meaning the daughter, she's trying to get her parents back together, but a breathtaking beauty, Marilyn Monroe, can't lure Vic from Grandma, driving Hugh to the brink of comic insanity as he wages a wild and unforgettable battle to win back his wife. Yeah, so they basically get her to come in and stop the high school sweetheart thing from happening. But you have to watch it to see how it all ends. The Spy. I've been talking about this on my Instagram, and you guys are so right. I called her Jenny in a recent video, but it's Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy. I love this woman. She's hilarious. But this movie, everything. It's got comedy, which I love, and it's got like the guns, CIA. I freaking love it. It is so damn funny. Jason Statham is in this too, which I love because he always plays serious characters, and he does all of his stunts too. So for him to come in and play the opposite of what he actually is was genius. He comes in as a CIA agent, but he's dumb and he's clumsy and he doesn't do anything right, which is the opposite of Jason Statham. So it's just so good. I keep moving because this leg is going numb. Oh my gosh, am I gonna have to do a part 3? Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this. Here's a Beetlejuice Passengers. I remember seeing this in the movie theaters. This is such a good storyline. If you've not seen Passengers, it's basically like about the future. They're trying to move people from Earth to a different planet, you know, because Earth is they're just trying to alleviate population. And so these people decide to make a trek, and they basically get put to sleep because it's so long. By the time that these people on the spaceship reach the planet, the people that they know in their lives will have been dead. So they're being maintained in their age in these like incubator type things, but in the process, their spaceship gets hit by meteor showers, and it like kind of disrupts some of the capsules, and one of them wakes up, a guy. And you gotta watch it if you've never watched Passengers. Zombieland, I don't know why I have this, it's not really my thing. Ninja Turtles, these are my daughter's, by the way. She loves Ninja Turtles. The Three Musketeers, I actually got this for my daughter for Christmas. I thought that she would really like, she loves Disney movies, and I thought that she would like some that she's never seen before, but then I ended up getting her Disney Plus. So now I own the DVD, and then I also own everything that's in the app. This is Tom and Jerry, Outer Space. You can't put me on no rocket ship, but there he is. I got that from Dollar Tree. Here is an 80s movie that if you've never seen, put this on your little note. I'll try to find it down below on Amazon for you. And it is My Stepmother's an Alien. I can't recommend this enough. It's so good. It has that 80s neighborhood thing. She comes in with all the outfits. She's an alien. Oh, you've got Bill Murray. Oh no, sorry, Dan Aykroyd, Kim Basinger. Oh my. Oh, add this to your list. Here's Furious 7. Just love it. Okay, we've got Porky's. I believe I found this at Dollar Tree. This is an 80s raunchy, very raunchy nudity. But it's hilarious. It's like a comedy classic. If a Man Answers. I found this as a gem at the movie trading company store. It's so good. I love this. I just love when it comes to classic movies, I love their wardrobe. I just love seeing these beautiful dresses and gowns. It's just, oh, I love it. And she's trying to train her husband to be a dog. It is hilarious. this is exactly why I love doing this video for you guys, because I feel like I'm probably introducing a lot of you to some new movies you've never heard of. And sometimes it's hard, you know, it's hard to find things. So hopefully this is giving you guys some idea. Here's Halloweentown High. I have Halloweentown 1 and 2, and I watch these obviously during Halloween, October. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's still in its sleeve, but I've watched this enough. I love this movie. I watched this when I was younger, late teens, early 20s, and I loved her in her boyfriend's Letterman jacket. I loved her like tumbling gymnastics part. It was like one of my favorite parts. And then she was also a vampire slayer, like literally taking wooden daggers into their heart. So cute. If you've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, it's a great 90s movie. Another Cinderella story with Selena Gomez. I found this at Dollar Tree. Doc Hollywood, I mentioned this before. You've got Michael J. Fox. He basically ends up in this town. I think he's trying to drive through, but then he gets stuck in this town, and it's really cute. It's a really good one. You gotta see Doc Holliday. That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's keep going. Christmas with the Cranks. It's a favorite Christmas movie of mine. I watch it multiple times. And there was a point where it was on Netflix, and I was watching it when it wasn't Christmas time at all, and it would be my go-to sleep movie. I love it. Here's another version of Beetlejuice. A Christmas Kiss. Very underrated. ABC or Hallmark. I don't think this was Hallmark, but A Christmas Kiss was so good. I got this movie because I wanted anything with Tim Allen, but I don't think I really liked it. It's called Crazy on the Outside, but had to watch it, I guess, to find out. Teen Witch. This is such a good 80s movie. I love watching it during the fall, during Halloween. That's my preferred time for multiple reasons. When I think of witch, I think of Halloween. When I think of just like classic witch, you know, there's that classic stereotype. I think Halloween, and also the kids are in school. So when I think of kids being in school, I think of the fall when they go back to school. And let's hope they all go back to school ASAP. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Christmas Cupid. It's another cute one. Another cute little ABC family, but it's now freeform. Rookie of the Year. It's a 90s movie. I don't know if many people have even heard of this one, but it was a really good little movie. I found it at Dollar Tree. And here is the Monster Squad. This is an 80s movie. I wanted something. I wanted to find something that would give me that Goonies feel. But I actually have not watched this all the way through, and I ordered this off of Amazon, I believe. And it has Chunk in it, or does it? I don't know if that's Chunk or not, but I need to watch this. I'm gonna pull this aside. Here is Bewitched. Not a favorite, honestly. I love Will Ferrell as SNL. I've never really gravitated towards his movies. Maybe one or two, but not all of them. And I'm also not a huge fan of Nicole Kidman either. So I feel like if there were two different actors in this, I would have loved this movie more. I just didn't think that they made sense. I didn't buy their chemistry at all. And honestly, I think that could have been a Nicole Kidman thing. I feel like with her, she just has like this cold persona for me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm not a favorite. Casper. If you're like me and you do movies seasonally and you do Halloween and Christmas and all that, Casper is a must. Here's another version of Goonies. Here's Burbs, but it's just the empty box. I showed you guys the DVD in the part 1. Outrageous Fortune. Bette Midler and Shelley Long. What a duo. If you love 80s and you love like the Rat Race kind of movies and you love Shelley Long, you love Ruthless People, and you've never seen Outrageous Fortune, this is one to write into your book to watch. I'll try to find it and link it down below. I got this one off of Amazon as well. This is going to take me a while to edit this video and link this stuff, but I want to do it for you guys. Okay, here's a double feature, and it has Fraternity Vacation and Reform School Girls. I do not like Reform School Girls. No. I watched that and I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is awful. I'm not, no. Just, it's a hard no for me. Fraternity Vacation I love, but it's 80s, there's nudity in it. But it has such a good storyline, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the music that's in it. Obsessed. I couldn't tell you why. I've been watching this movie since my early 20s. It's got Tim Robbins. Oh my god, it might be crap. It might be a crap movie to a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know about Fraternity Vacation, but I love it. I love that damn movie. Don't know what else to tell you. Mannequin and Mannequin 2. It's a good 80s. Mannequin 1 with Samantha Jones from Sex and the City is so weird to see her, especially since I've seen her character, Samantha Jones, is so strong that to go back and watch her in Mannequin, it's like, whoa, that's weird. But it's about the girl being a mannequin and magic turning her into human, and it's really good. If you've never seen Mannequin, I feel like a lot of you have. Just right. I'm telling you, I love Queen Latifah, and this movie is like every girl's dream, where the guy falls for you, you know? And, oh, they did this movie just right. Just saying. It was there, I had to do it. Multiplicity. Michael Keaton. Love him. It's not one of my favorite movies of his. But it's one of those that you gotta watch at least once. Death Becomes Her. Did you think you were gonna see this whole collection without Death Becomes Her? Please. Please. I'm not gonna let you down like that. Meryl Streep. Cuckoo Bird. Bruce Willis. Wow, I completely forgot he's Bruce Willis. Dang, that's some good acting, because he's not a favorite of mine, but he was really good. Goldie Hawn in this. Oh my god. Oh my god. The two of them are nuts. Protocol. Told you, love Goldie Hawn, so I looked up all her stuff. I don't own all her stuff, but I love Protocol. It's really cute. She basically not accidentally, but she saves a political person from being assassinated, and so she becomes like the spokesperson kind of thing. It's really good. This movie I love with all of my heart, but it's a hard one to watch. Her dad dies, and her dad was like his best friend. He dies, and she's been in an orphanage. So he comes to tell her that the dad has passed away, but he can't get himself to do it. She thinks he's her dad. Well, then he finally tells her the truth. I'm not your dad passed away, kind of thing. And she's like, oh, well, like, what are you gonna do with me now? And he's like, well, I'm gonna send you to a school, you know, so you can get educated. And he sends her off to like a boarding school. But when she comes back all grown up. She comes back a woman, and put that one on your list. It's so good. Sex and the City 2, Mockingjay Part 2, Madea Goes to Jail. Madea, oh god, she is a character, and when she goes to jail, look at her, look at her. Oh my god, when she goes to jail, and what the genius part about Tyler Perry is he turned comedies into real life situations, and he was teaching life lessons in his movies. Like, you gotta watch it, because the man's a genius. Finding Nemo, I don't know why this is down here. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. It's okay, it's not my favorite movie. It's not like my style of movie that I gravitate towards, but it's a good one. Eddie Murphy Raw. Fun with Dick and Jane. I actually haven't seen this in a while. It's got Jim Carrey in it. But yeah, I haven't seen this one in a while, so I don't even remember what that is. I also have my brother's skydiving video. He skydived once, and apparently I have his video. Labyrinth. David Bowie. We're gonna talk about this for a minute. This video is so incredibly long, but at this point I'm just biting the bullet and I'm gonna go for it. It's gonna be an hour long. But I wanted the Goblin King with her. At first, I remember at first watching it and never feeling that connection because I think I was too young. But the older that I got, I was just like, wait a minute, I don't want you to leave the labyrinth. I want you to be the Goblin Queen. It was a weird shock for me, for my mind to have progressed. And that's the other part that I love about 80s movies is I'll remember my childhood memory of it. And then when I rewatch it again, it becomes something different. It's like watching it again for the first time. And that happened to me with Labyrinth. I love watching this when the weather is rainy, and I love watching it when it's dark outside. I don't like watching this in the daytime. I'm weird like that. But when I started growing up and watching this, all I thought in their dance scene when he puts her in that gown and the way he watches her through the crowd and the way that he wants her, and you really don't pick up on it at first. He's in the party and then he finally finds her and she finds him and they dance. I live for it and I hate that she doesn't stay there. I have some SNL stuff. Will Ferrell again, my favorite. I love Will Ferrell as skits, not like a full movie. Dance Moms, I was obsessed with the show. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I still follow some of these girls because I've watched them from the very beginning when this first aired. I still follow, who do I follow? I follow Nia, Paige, her sister Brooke, which is so crazy because they look so different now. Paige and Brooke have really grown up. Brooke went to college, had just a normal life in the sense of compared to her being on television and being on dance. She just stopped dancing, and I'm really happy for Brooke because I felt like her and Paige were really treated very poorly. And Paige, oh my god, you should see what she looks like now. She is a tall blonde model. Like, I'm just like, what the heck? What is in the milk y'all drink? But yeah, that's my collection. I hope that you guys enjoy. This is probably the longest video I've ever put up in my entire life. And now I've got to organize it all back. I'm going to pull Labyrinth out. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.